Hey guys, welcome to the podcast Dear Life. I'm your host Raza Pulami, and this is the Faith-Based Podcast where we bring fresh perspective, real talk, and a lot of inspiration from the Bible. And today what I am about to speak is a little bit interesting, and it's a warning for all of us, including myself. It's a warning for a church believer, and this topic that I'm about to speak might be a little sensitive to other people, and if you think it might be sensitive for you, you may leave the video because we will be talking a little bit about those topics as well. And today, before we talk about this topic and read through the verses, I would like to remind all of us, do you ever feel like now, even though you speak the right thing, people wronged you so much? I feel like now people get a lot of praise for doing the wrong thing than doing the right thing. And when you're doing the right thing, they'll look at you so weirdly. And that is exactly what the Bible talks about. If we look into book of Isaiah 5:20, in there it says like this: Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And this verse is exactly talking about what is happening in this world. If we think about a specific example, the incident that happened in the world that we are considering good, that is not good, that is wrong, is living in relationship before marriage. When we think about this topic, a lot of might think, oh, it's okay, it's normal to live in relationship before marriage. And some of the people have a different point of view. It is wrong, but the Bible tells us before the marriage, being in relationship and living together, when you're in relationship and living together with that person before marriage, it's wrong. And that is right. But now, if I point this out to the people by saying hey, being in, without marriage, being in relationship and living with that person in the same household is wrong, a lot of people will do what? They might look at me weird. What are you talking about? Everybody is doing, it's normal. And I feel like our culture, especially in the United States, has normalized that a lot. And yes, talking about this, I might get a lot of backlash. A lot of people will hate about this, but this is the truth. And we as a Christian need to stand on this truth. And a lot of the church need to speak about this, because whatever the trend of the world is going, we cannot go there. But we need to stay strong in our faith. And our Bible tells us it is wrong to live together before marriage. And that is the truth. As a church, we need to stay strong and be brave. And I know being brave in this time where most of the world is on the other side and you're in the other side, makes it so difficult, because you're the only one who's saying it's wrong and a lot of the people is saying it's right. So it is a lot of difficult, but just know that the Holy Spirit is with you and He will give you courage to stand strong in your faith. And we need to speak as a church. Whatever things that is happening wrong in our church, we need to speak and tell them it is wrong, and we need to stay strong in our belief, because if we compromise in this little thing, then it will become a huge problem, and the church will start committing a sin without us realizing it. And enemy is using this strategy to make us, a fellow believers, think it is okay, it is normal. Those things we need to accept. The enemy is making us feel like that, think like that, to destroy the church, to enter the sin at church. That's why as a believer, we have to be so much careful of what we are feeding into our mind, what we are allowing in our church. And especially right now, homosexual, marrying the same gender, that is very normal to other people. Right? That is very normal to the world, but that is not normal in the Bible. There is only two gender, male and female. And I feel like personally, when I was thinking about this before, I thought it's not that bad, personally when I was thinking. But when I studied the Bible, when I knew enemy is trying to steal our identity and making us believe that it's okay to marry a same sex, it's okay, it's making us divert our mind into who we are and what God has created. And as a church, we need to remind our youth, we need to remind our people, it is not okay to think that marrying a same sex is okay, and we should not let this sin enter our church. And there are so many things that is happening around the world that are dark, that are not right, but people are believing it is okay. And as a church, as a family of believers, we should not let this thing enter our church or our family. And if we cannot be strong, guys, I feel like right now, then we will never be strong. We need to speak up about these things, and we need to be brave about these things, because if we cannot speak right now, then when will we gonna speak about these things? And yes, a lot of people gonna hate us, a lot of people gonna persecute us because we are going against what they are feeling is right. We don't go by feeling, we go by what is right and what is wrong, and we will get a lot of hate for that. But it's okay, because we as a believer, in the Bible it says we're going to get a lot of persecution, and that is exactly what is happening in this world, and we cannot sit quietly, guys. And if we look into 2 Timothy 3 from 1 to 5, it talks about so many things, and I feel like this is exactly what is happening in the world, and we need to be very careful. Okay, hear me out reading this. But mark this, there will be a terrible time in the last days. People will be lover of themselves, lover of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiveness, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lover of good, treacherous, rash, contrite, lover of pleasure rather than lover of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. The Bible has warned us already. During the end time, there will be less love. During the end time, we will be heartless. We will be the people who will not have the ability to have self-control. And that is exactly what is happening. Now, if we think about it, being in a relationship with somebody, they think it's okay to have a sex. Is going what? They cannot even have a self-control. And the self-control is very powerful. But nowadays, man or a woman, they do not have a self-control. They do not want to live a pure life. And when I talk to some young people, hey, like, do you believe like when you're in relationship, it's okay to save those things for later after the marriage and be pure? Then they will think this is weird. Now generation probably thinks this is weird, and they will be saying, what do you mean? Like, we got to enjoy our life. But what we have forget is, while enjoying our life, is that we have forgot to put a value for who we are and what God has created. We are a very valuable person, and all those things should be after marriage. But now the world has made it this so easy that they make it seem like, it's okay, and being in a relationship, having sex before marriage. But it is not okay. Guys, you need to have a self-control. You need to be disciplined enough. Because if you cannot control your hormones, then I don't know what you can do, because those are the things that tells you how much of a person you are, because you're getting out of control and you cannot even control yourself. And staying pure is very must in church. And I would like to encourage all youth, be bold about this. We need to stay pure before marriage. And in here it says we will be a lover of pleasure rather than the lover of God. And that is exactly what is happening right now. We love the pleasures, right? We love to enjoy our life, doing parties, doing sex, and all those, the drugs and many other things to give pleasure to ourselves rather than giving pleasure to God. And that is very sad because, we have forgot how far the God has bring us and how gracious He is, and we forgot to give praise to Him, give pleasure to Him, rather than that we start enjoying the pleasure of ourselves. And there are many other things. At the end of the day, people will become ungodly. People will become disobedient to their parents, and this is very true. And I have heard so many stories about parents crying out loud, wishing one day their kids will understand them. And I feel like we have gone so far, I feel like now we have not understand our parents. They have done so many great things for us, since we were born. But I feel like it is our job as a kids now to give something back to our parents. But there is so many kids who don't understand that, and who is thinking about me only, that they forgot that they have their parents, who was there. And I know, a lot of the time, our parents might not understand us much, especially in our Nepali community. I feel like, because most of our parents are very uneducated, and they don't know many things, and we have to make them understand, because I feel like those are the things that we can play a part in it. Even if they don't understand, we need to be patient enough, because we are educated one, right? So if we are the educated one, why are we acting like the uneducated kid? We need to understand our parents and where they are coming from. We need to understand their background. And yes, some of the time, whatever the word they have said might upset us, might make us angry, might make us feel like, why aren't they like others' parents? Who understand, who are like a friend to their kids. Why aren't they like that? And we need to understand what kind of background our parent is coming from. And I feel like when we make them understand, I feel like they will understand. They're not an animal, right? I know this might be brutal to talk, but they are a human being. If we make them understand, they will understand. And I feel like it is our job to make them understand. And parents, we need to help them, especially right now, after hearing so many stories in my work, the parents talking about their kids, how they wish, and in personal life, I have heard many stories, and I feel like parents right now are feeling very devastated that their kids doesn't listen to them, and they wish at least help them with house chore, at least their kids could help them financially, in-house. And you might be thinking, oh, it is my life, why should I help you? But think about it. When you were little, your parents helped you raise, right? Isn't it your job to return that to them, even though the favor that we might return is not much? We should be doing the goods to our parents, because trust me, the amount of labor that they went through, for us, it's a lot, and we can never return that favor. But what we can do is understand them, be with them. And that's what God wants us. Be obedient child and understand the perspective of our parents. And we both people are very from different generation, and there is so many gap. And yes, there are majority of time that I may not understand what my parents are saying, and my parents may not understand. But we need to understand there is a huge generational gap, and whatever my parents are saying is from the different generation than what I'm saying. So when we understand both sides, it will help us. And as a believer, I feel like in our family, we should be more godly, be more obedient to our parents. And not only that, but parents to understand their kids. When parents understand their kids, it is easier. And when the kids understand their parents, it is easier to work. And even in the believer house, there are so many things that is like going around that we may not know, and there are so many things that we are doing that is upsetting the another member of the family. And as a believer, we need to come together and be united and work, because enemy, what will he try to do first is destroy the family, because family is a very strong bond. When family comes together, it can change. When family comes together, it can change the world, because from family to community to the world, it goes like that. And when family becomes understanding, it will affect the community, and when community to the world. So we as a family, we need to be united together and try to understand each other's side. And yeah, I have so many things to say that is happening ungodly in this world, but I'm just gonna keep it right here. And in book of 2 Timothy, it talks a lot about that, the verse that I have spoken. And I feel like, guys, we need to be staying strong in what we believe, and we need to be aware, be alert the things that is happening, and we should not let this thing enter our church nor our family, because our church and our family serves only one and only God. And let's not make these things normal, even though there are a lot of Hollywood movie, a lot of Bollywood movie normalizing these things, and people are walking in this trend blindly following. We should not be that person. Okay, we are born leader, and we need to learn to decide which one is right and which one is wrong, because it has come a day where now, people think what is wrong is right and what is right is wrong. So as a believer, we need to always open our Bible. We need to always educate ourselves reading a Bible and discern which one is right and which one is wrong. And I hope from this podcast, a lot of you guys understand that there is a time changing now. The end of the day are coming, and there are a lot of signs, and we need to understand that, and we need to be brave enough to talk about these things and never let these things enter our church nor our family nor in ourselves. And how are we gonna do it is being educated in Bible, learning what are the right things and what are the wrong things to do, and knowing the truth. When we know the truth, it will help us be set apart. And remember, God has called us to be the light and be a set apart person. So we as a Christian, a lot of them might think why there is so many not to do than there is do, and there are a lot of questions. But remember, we're here because God has set us apart, and we need to be an example to the world so the world can follow us. I hope from this podcast we learn to discern what is right and what is wrong, and I hope that you learn something new today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to learn more insight on God and how to stay strong in our faith.